assignments. So this week we've done, homeworks 5 and 6. I think we talked about 5 a little bit yesterday. We got assigned 6 yesterday. Questions from 6, or I guess anything prior to 6 even? Okay, well, if you guys change your mind, that's okay. We can always come back and talk about it again. Today, we're going to finish up Chapter 7. This is the last topic that I would like to talk about in Chapter 7. It's not a terribly difficult topic, so that's a nice way to end this chapter. So we'll be concluding the chapter lessons here today. Next week we'll have a review day, and then we'll take the Chapter 7 test. Is the plan for next week. Okay with that? The week after that, if you elected to do a retake, we talked about the end of the year. If you wanted to do a retake, you could do that, or you can just take your double type test score and not have to do anything. You can't do both, but if you wanted to do one of the retakes, they would happen the week after. So during that 3-day week, we'll take care of those. So again, just if that's what you want to do, let me know. You can wait until after you've done the Chapter 7 stuff to let me know. That's okay. But at some point, I do need to know what you're doing so I have a chance to get a test ready for you. Okay. Anyways, let's get this show on the road. So last topic we're going to talk about is graphing logarithmic functions. So our general form for our logarithmic function is y equals a times log base b of x minus h plus k. There is one key feature that we need to make sure appears in every graph for our logarithmic functions. That is a vertical asymptote. And that vertical asymptote is going to be easy to find because it's always going to be x equals h. Now, my goal here is going to be to, when picking my xy table, is to try to not have irrational numbers in here if possible. So the way that we're going to pick our xy table is as follows. We're going to pick b to the negative 2 plus h for x, and then b to the negative 1 plus h, and then b to the 0 plus h, and then b to the first plus h, and then b to the second plus h. To find the y-coordinates then, what we'll do is negative 2a plus k, negative a plus k, well it would be like 0a plus k, or just k. Then we'll have a plus k, and then 2a plus k. So the way to remember this is just the exponent on the b is the same as the coefficient in front of your a. It's the easy way to kind of remember that table. And then the domain and range. always going to be h to positive infinity, both with parentheses. And the range will always be all real numbers. So that's all like the little bit of background that we need. So let's go ahead and graph a couple of these and be on about our merry way. Sound good? I'm good with that. So here's an example. Y equals 3 times log base 2 of x plus 1 minus 2. I'm sorry, minus 4. First thing I'm going to do is write down the values for a, b, h, and k. So the a is 3. B is 2. The h is negative 1. The k is negative 4. Remember, the h is always the opposite sign of whatever it appears. So right away, I know that my vertical asymptote is x equals negative 1, right? Just x equals h. And then I can start making my xy table. So I have b to the negative 2 plus k. So plus and negative 4 is the same thing as minus 4, so I'm not going to write the plus and negative because it's just like an extra symbol. And then I have b to the negative 1 plus k, b to the 0 plus k, b to the first plus k, and then b to the second plus k. So if I type 2 to the negative 2 minus 4 in my calculator, I get negative 3.75. And then negative 3.5, negative 3, negative 2, and then 0. So again, you could just type those things into your calculator to get the decimal. Or if you want to do it in your head, you can do it in your head. They're not that terribly difficult. Whatever you're more comfortable with. You know what I mean? So then we're going to do negative 2 times a. Oh my goodness gracious, people. I made a terrible mistake here. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. It's not these powers of b plus k, it's supposed to be plus h. Ay caramba. That's better. Sorry about that. Now we'll just go ahead and simplify these. So negative 2 times 3 minus 4 is negative 10. I got negative 7, and negative 4, and negative 1, and then 2. Again, those are things you can type in your calculator. You can simplify in your head. You know, whatever floats your boat, depending on how confident you are in your mental math skills. So you can just do it on your calculator, right? No big deal. All right, so let's draw our picture then. So I need 3. Next direction, I need to go Oh my goodness. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yikes. All right. Vertical asymptote at negative or at x equals -1. Looks pretty good. And then -0.75 and -10. I have -0.5 and -7. And I have 0 and -4. And then I have 1 and -1. And then I have 3 and +2. So when I draw my graph, it'll look kind of like this. I've got arrows at both ends. One end is like parallel to the asymptote, and the other is just, shooting off there, same direction as the points are going or whatever. But it should be curvy. It's not a straight line, right? The last thing we would do is write the domain and range. So remember, the domain is always h to positive infinity. My h is -1 in this case. And the range is always all real numbers. So there's not much to worry about there. What do you think? That's not so bad, right? Should be pretty doable. Let's do one more, make sure we got it, and then we'll go on about our business. Cool beans? All right. Part B, or example B, letter B. So there's that Beatles song, Let It Be. When I was a young child, on Sesame Street, they had the song Letter B about the letter, the alphabet B. And when I said letter B there, that's what it reminded me of. From all the way back when I was like 5 years old or whatever. Just thought I'd share that with you. For no good reason, right? Just so again, I'm going to just start by identifying the values for A, B, H, and K. Remember, the H is always the opposite of the sign it appears in the problem. And I need that H value in particular because it's going to give me my vertical asymptote. And then I'll make my XY table where I need the H value correct again, because the X coordinates are going to be b to the -2 plus h, b to the -1 plus h, b to the 0 plus h, b to the first plus h, and then b to the second plus h. So if I simplify that, I get 2, 0, and then -1, and then -1.5, and then -1.75. Then for our y's, I have a times -2 plus k, a times -1 plus k, a times 0 plus k, a times 1 plus k, and then a times 2 plus k. So if I simplify these, we'll get 7, 4, 1, -2, -5. And again, you can do that stuff in your head, or you can do it in your calculator, or whatevs, to simplify simplify it down, but this is the way I usually do it, where I write the little formula in there, and then I write whatever it simplifies down to above it. All right. So there's that. Drawing my asymptote here at -2. And then let's start plotting our points. So I'm actually going to start at the far right end, since those are the negative ones. I usually like to graph things left to right. So -1.75 and -5 is like right here. And then -1.5, and then -2 would be like right around there. -1, +1 is like there. 0, 4, and then 2, 7. Again, we'll draw this. Arrows at both ends, and I'm just gonna extend my asymptote down there so you can tell that I drew that, so it's not supposed to be crossing the asymptote. But there's my picture. Again, should be kind of curvy. Should be arrows at both ends. Shouldn't be a straight line, right? Shouldn't be crossing your asymptote or look like it's going to cross your asymptote. And then my domain and range is the last two things that I do. So the domain is always going to be h to positive infinity. The range be all real numbers. And that's, I feel like, is good, don't you guys? Feel like you got it? Not a terribly difficult topic. We could have probably crammed this in one of those other days, but, it's not the end of the world. So your assignment on this lesson is this worksheet 7, which is just 3 graphing problems. Shouldn't be too bad. And then I also have posted the test review. So you should, once you've finished worksheet 7 or caught up on the other homeworks, you should do the review. Or start working on the review anyways. The review key, I also have posted in here. So if you wanted to check answers on stuff to make sure you're doing things correctly, I think I have all the correct answers in here on the review key. So you can kind of check against those. Next time, Monday, in class, we'll have a day to just kind of take questions, go over the review, let you guys kind of get caught up on whatnot. And then we'll do the test the following class period. I guess that would be Wednesday of next week. Sound okay to you guys? I'm going to get out of your way. Obviously,